rare, it is possible, it is likely, it is often, it is frequent, plus about the consequences. How can you calculate about the consequences? How you can measure the risk level based on the consequences? So how can you say it's 3? How can you say it's 6? How can you say it is 8? And how can you say it is? So many people, when we are asking them during interview that how you will calculate the consequences, they don't know, they don't have answer. Yes, how to calculate the answer, the consequences? I have put 3. And which base I have put 3? Just to hypothetically analyze the things? No, it's not hypothetically, brother. How did you put 3 or 2 the likelihood? How can you say it's possible? Oh my god, I put 2, but I don't know how did I calculate the data analysis. So here you are stuck. You cannot convince your management to follow your risk assessment. Hello guys, and welcome back. Today we will be discussing about understanding risk metrics and risk calculations. Let's have some things that see. You guys might be thinking that how here the rare 1, possible 2, the likelihood and the consequences has been calculated, and we have the format in like this in our risk assessment. But the thing is, that how 10 comes and how 4 is there and 15 is there and 25 is there. Okay, it's because of the calculation multiplications. Yes, it is multiplication, but how can you say that it is rare, it is possible, it is likely, it is often, it is frequent, plus about the consequences? How can you calculate about the consequences? How you can measure the risk level based on the consequences? So how can you say it's 3? How can you say it's 6? How can you say it is 8? And how can you say it is 4? So today we will be discussing about this type of confusion that we have it. So how the consequences are working, how the likelihood is working, and even you have here the if it's 15 to 25, it will be extreme, and if what you need to do after that if it's extreme. And by the way, 8 to 12 is high risk, but what you will do if that is high risk? 4 to 6 is moderate, what you will do? Moderate. 1 to 3 is low risk, no immediate. But what if someone asks you this question, okay, that you have put the consequences is 4? How can you say that it is 4? I don't believe it. If you say the likelihood is 4, they will say, how can you say that? I don't believe it. You are not a qualified risk assessor. So how can you say that the risk level is very high? So let's discuss about this, that how to calculate the likelihood, the consequences, and then give the total risk level. So this is per ADOSH, which is Abu Dhabi Occupational Health and Safety. They recently it's changed, and before it was OSHA. So they have already described that how can you say that it is likelihood 3, 4, 5, 1. So this is if a type of accidents, for example the fall incidents, it has happened frequent means occurs frequent multiple times in a year. Okay, so you can say it is 5. So you can say that almost every company they have fall incidents, so it is 5 often. So when it is occurs several times per year, not that much but many times in a year, so we can say that it is 4. For example, if a person standing under the suspended load, so we can say that these type of incidents has been occurred many times in a year. So even we can see that in the news and the groups and LinkedIn and social medias that this type of incidents has been occurred. So we can say that it is 4. If that is occurred like more than once in a year, so it is not that much, but once in a year, so that is likely that even in our project or your project this type of incidents may occur, so we can put 3. And if as occurred once in a life, so we can say it's possible, there is possibility, like corona, there is a possibility of corona, yeah, are similar type of diseases. So that could be true and rare, that will be never occurred. But this is very easy, it's based on the history. There are others also, but that is my personal, and I will have a video on that after publishing of my article on it, how to evaluate likelihood. So let's go now with the consequences, and which is very important to understand about the consequences. Consequences, as per Adosh, they have divided into three. They have three categories. First of all is health and safety category, production loss categories, and total cost of impacts or incident event. So that is health and safety, production loss, and also financial. So first of all, we will start with the human health and safety. So one is insignificant and consequences, which we can give score 1, that is first aid, only first aid. If there is an injury, a minor injury which requires self-administrated means first aid, injury only. Second number is minor consequences. Minor consequences, this is that when there is an injury but it is not first aid on the side, it is what? Medical practitioner personnel and unable to continue perform duties. That's good. But which medical? It should be on the site. Okay, not all type of medical. If you take it to the medical to the clinic, government hospital, or in any private hospital, medical clinic, that can be considered as in moderate consequences. Could be fatality, could be serious injuries, and even medical treatment cases. But here the first aid, it is also on the side, and site treatment by medical practitioners, because you can see that there are many requirements of the male nurse, and so many projects, even that is requirements of ADOSH COP number 4, I believe, the first aid. Okay, so how we can say that it is 3, the consequences? Serious injuries requiring of site treatment by medical practitioner or immediate evacuation to hospital. Okay, potential long-term or permanent disabilities, this is called LTI. If there is an LTI, okay, and took them to the hospital, and this is if the person couldn't continue work for the 24 hours, so that could be considered as an LTI. Dubai says that if a person couldn't continue work for 3 days, that could be considered can be considered as a LTI. But Abu Dhabi says no, if within 24 hours the person, the employee, couldn't continue work, that is LTI. Okay, so that is that we can put 3 in the risk matrix. And minor consequences, major consequences, score 4. There should be a single fatality. If there is chances of single fatality, okay, we can say it is 4. But if there is multiple fatalities, we can say catastrophic, and that is 5. Okay, so now here you already understood that how you can put for the human health and safety basis the risk level for the consequences. So let's start now with the production loss. So production loss is incident event without causing production loss. If there is no impact on the production loss, there is no delay in anything, so that is normal, and we can say significant consequences, and we can put 1 only. Okay, but if we have like production loss or delay up to 1 week, oh, there are so many companies, if you stop their production for 1 week, khalas, and you can say walaikum assalam, they will be and bankrupts. But here as per ADOSH, they have given self-regulatory authority to every organizations and even to the employees inside the organizations. So based on the organizations here, keep that in your mind. If you are carrying out risk assessment, okay, for a company with not that much budget and it's a medium entity, so what you need to do, you have to revise this. It should be based on the organizational strategic risk. Okay, if you say no, it's only 1 week and it is delay, so okay, no, in some cases if you delay for 1 week, so khalas, the company will be, bankrupt. So it should be revised based on the organization acceptable risks. Okay, so how much an organization can accept or tolerate the risk. So based of that, you can revise or make some modification in this matrix, and you can apply in your own organization. Okay, so here this is moderate consequences. That will be 3 if the production loss or delay of 1 week to 1 month. So for them, because it's this risk management system of ADOSH, it is not only for the small companies, that we think, oh, 1 week or 1 month is huge. So it is, for the whole Emirates of Abu Dhabi. So there are big companies, even the government, so you can say like it is moderate consequences. The production was delayed for 1 month from 1 week. So if the production losses are delayed for over 1 month, if that is more than 1 month, then you can say it is 4, which is equal to fatality. But if there are chances of license upgrade or ability to produce indefinitely, so we can say that it is catastrophic. Another one is total cost of impact or incident event. Financial. If there is loss of 5,000 less, for example, if you're doing your own risk assessment and you say that, oh, for 5,000 dirham is very normal, no, don't think that it's very huge. So for so many companies like subcontractors, if you give them even 5,000 fine, or if they are fined by the organization, the main contractor, so 5,000, the whole contract could be only for 20 or 30,000 or 50,000. So it will be very huge. So they need to revise this table as per their organization's requirements. And financial loss compensations, fines, costs to repair plant damage of 5,000 to 50,000, that could be as consequences, minor consequences, and we can put 2. And if there are losses, financial losses or fines or compensations to the person, it is from 50 to 50,000 to 500,000, that is moderate consequences equal to LTI. But if it's 500,000 and 1 million, 10 million, they call it major, which is 4 and equal to a fatality and equal to production loss or delay for over 1 month. But if the severe financial penalties or legal liabilities, financial loss or compensations, fines, costs to repair plant damage of greater than 10 million, that could be considered as a catastrophic, and we can put 5. But here there is another questions, and that might be in your mind, and you might be thinking about that. What if there is chances of an incident, okay, and that incident, for example, there is one LTI, okay, which is for example like disability. Okay, there is disability. A person, he went to he was working at height, or he is like using a grinder, and he cut his finger, so that is khalas. Or our person, he fell from height, he was working at height and he fell from that, and he had like spinal cord injury. So what you will do in that case? Here the consequences is 3. But what if the total cost is more than 500,000 for the direct and indirect losses of uh, the incidents? Or what if the production has been lost, for more than 1 month because of some engineering control measures in that one? So what you need to put here, the LTI comes under 3, the incidents for the human health and safety. Production loss is under 4, and financial loss could be also under 3 or under 4. So what you need to do here, that's great. So what you need to do, whenever, okay, whichever is higher, the consequences level will be that. For example, if the human health and safety is 4, the rest are 2, the consequences will be 4. If the production loss is 3, the rest is insignificant, the consequences are 3. If the financial loss is 10 million, the rest is 1, the consequences are 4 again. So you have to calculate based on the risk level of each of these categories. So